Last Sunday, Epic, the new Baz Luhrmann Elvis movie, premiered on the International Toronto Film Festival. What do we know about this movie?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's right, Elvis Presley.
Hi there, welcome to Your Elvis Guide. I'm Alexander, and I'm so excited. Not because that great record, A Lower From Hawaii, with the Steamroller Blues hype sticker, walked into my collection last week. It's a tremendous rare to have that record with the hype sticker, so I'm so thrilled. But that's not why I'm over the moon excited. That's because Epic, the new Baz Luhrmann film, Elvis film, premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival last Sunday. And the first reviews are pouring in, and especially the review of the American entertainment magazine, Variety, is raving. So we are up for something. Well, let's go to the review.
Epic, Elvis Presley in concert, review by Owen Gleiberman for Variety. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis documentary is one of the most exciting concert films you've ever seen. The director found boxes of never-before-seen footage in the archives, assembling it into a dazzling testament to Elvis's late-period greatness. Think back to the greatest concert you ever saw. It could be Springsteen or U2 or the Stones or Lady Gaga or the Ramones or Taylor Swift or Radiohead or, in my case, 2 concerts from the 80s, Prince and X, and one from the 2000s, Madonna on her Confessions tour. Now think back to the greatest moment in that concert, the one that gave you chills you can still feel. That's the kind of experience I predict you'll have watching Epic, Elvis Presley in concert, an extraordinary new documentary directed by Baz Luhrmann, the director of Elvis.
And there's more good news. Who would have thought that that great footage from That's the Way It Is from 1970 and Elvis on Tour from 1972 would be screened on an IMAX screen in the greatest quality possible. Well, that will be something, right?
And action. Hey, I'm coming to you where we're putting the finishing touches on Epic, Elvis Presley in concert. Elvis sings and tells his story like never before. A lot of you have been asking, gee, will there be an IMAX version? And in fact, there is. Yes, 3 performances in Scotiabank Cinema in Toronto at the Toronto International Film Festival. The dates are below. So get Epic. See you there.
Camera crew, gentlemen. Right. Get serious or just play a little bit? Hard way to make a living, you know. It's really tough work.
So, what can we expect of Epic? During the premiere on Sunday, this September 6th, Baz Luhrmann explained the creative process which led to the film. Let's listen.
Yeah. But in this film, because we were so lucky over 7 years ago when we were trying to make the movie, there were this rumoured footage, you know. And I had the money to go into the salt mines in Kansas, and we found the footage. In fact, over 35 hours of it. So the film tonight is 37 hours long. I'll not left a brain out. Okay, it's an exaggeration. information, but you've seen my movies, right? The thing is that we didn't find the sound, we found the vocals. So we thought, what are we going to do, John and I? John and Reb and I thought, well, you know what? Let's not reheat an existing documentary. Let's not try and do Elvis on Tour Plus. Let's make a completely different work, because we couldn't do all of it. I mean, we have the whole of the Hampton Road concert, but we couldn't do it all. So we thought, what if, because we found one amazing thing. We found audio of Elvis telling you about his life. Well, yes, because instead of other people, by the way, I want to see you up dancing later, right? Because instead of people telling you about Elvis, Epic, Elvis Presley in concert, is Elvis sings, and here's the interesting bit for someone who wasn't that verbal, tells his story like never before. The storyteller is Elvis himself, and that's what we set out to do. Of course, as I like to say, it's not a documentary, it's not a concept film, because it's kind of like a tone poem, a poetry. It's Elvis, I think, the person, telling you about his life through song and through words. One last thing.
And in the creative process of researching this film, Baz Luhrmann and his team found way more material than they could use in Epic. So does this pave the way, the inventarization and digitalization of all that great That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour footage? Does it pave the way to more releases of that great material? Well, let's see what they say about that.
I will say this, you are so right, and there's more, we've got more than in this. We can't do all of it right now, maybe one day. I mean, whole concerts that have never been seen.
It seems that fans, for example, the Facebook group released the Elvis on Tour footage, played a huge role in creating the awareness with Baz Luhrmann and his team to go after that great footage from That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour, and that there is a huge demand within the Elvis Presley fan base for a new concert film, and that's why he is delivering right now, and that's a huge kudos to those fans who have initiated this film, this film we all want to see, Epic.
Couldn't do it. I hope the fans, because they're quite intense and I understand their passion, but we could not put everything in it because it's very expensive. I mean, we have a whole concert. Is it what's the park? Is it
Hampton Road.
Hampton Road. The entire concert, never before seen. That's just a little bit.
It's kind of the holy grail for the true Elvis fans, is to see a full show from beginning to end, and we do have that.
Does your memory stray to a bright summer day when I kiss you and call you sweetheart? Do the chairs in your parlor seem empty and bare? Do you gaze at your doorstep and picture me there? Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? Talk to you, man. I wonder if you're lonesome tonight. You know, someone said the world's a stage and each must play a part. Fate had me playing in love with you as my sweetheart. Act 1 was where we met. I loved you at first glance. You read your lines so cleverly, never missed a cue. Then came Act Two. You seemed to change, you acted strange, and why I've never known. Honey, you lied when you said you loved me, and I had no cause to doubt you. But I'd rather go on hearing your lies than they go on living without you. And the stage is bare, and I'm standing there with emptiness all around. And if you won't come back to me, then I can bring the curtain down. Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? Thank you. Thank you for listening.
You saw a great rendition of Are You Lonesome Tonight from Hampton Roads, April 9, 1972. And that will probably be footage that will not be in Epic. So, what will be in Epic?
I want to say that we had to make a choice because, you know, the existing documentary, which is terrific, This Is Elvis, Elvis on Tour, we could kind of rebake it. And I will tell you, it's quite expensive what we did because we were very lucky to work with Peter Jackson's Park Rotor. Went down to New Zealand. Peter's brilliant at bringing footage back. Props to them. If you've seen the Beatles, he was on 16mm. This is 35 anamorphic. So that was a beautiful process. But we cut, I think, how many uncut tracks do we have? We have picture and full sound like this quality. How many bonus tracks do we have?
We've lots. The biggest challenge in cutting this film was actually deciding what performances to use.
Yeah. I know because you're going to ask me this. We had to make a choice, and that was honestly we either reheat the original shows, but I think the choice we made, because it's not the end of the road here. I mean, Hampton Road we have in its entirety, right? In its entirety. Well, that's a whole other show, right? So write to your local theatre if you want to see that as a sequel, just saying.
It is so great to hear that Baz Luhrmann and his team were close together with Peter Jackson, the driving force behind Get Back, that great Beatles documentary. So, how did Epic as a project took off?
We had a great bond, and every time I go to make a film, we'd make these little poetic, I guess, little poems about the feel of the movie. You know, and I'd talk a bit, and then John would do found footage and cut it together, and it kept growing and growing. And you got to correct me, John, but I think maybe when I embarked on the Elvis journey, was that 7 years ago you made that first reel?
Yeah, we did 7 years, 2018.
When?
2018.
I'm bad with maths, is that 7 years? And Jono made a kind of found footage reel about what kind of film the Elvis movie might be 7 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you saw the reel, it would be like the movie after living in, you know, the Elvis and Graceland for 18 months and 2 years down the south on the journey, inviting Austin Butler and Tom Hanks coming on. Yeah. I know, my kid said to me, gee, isn't Austin great in that documentary, Dad? And then someone else said to me, gee, I think sometimes, anyway. The thing is that after that great journey, if you see the reel that we made, it is the film. And along the way, along the journey, we thought we might be able to get some footage from the Vegas show and use it in the movie. And we heard the thing about the maybe mythical footage, right? And I had the resources to be able to go into the salt mines in Kansas. That's where they keep the negative. So the guys go in and they say, hey, actually, we have found the negative. Now, there's a lot of technical stuff here, and I'll hand over to Jono on that. But how many hours did we find, Jono?
59 hours worth of original camera.
Yes, 59 hours,
From
right?
the 2 concert films.
Yeah, the 2 concert films and the tour. And we found some 8mm, some of that you would have seen tonight. But not the sound. Not the sound.
So we now know that Baz Luhrmann and his team found a stunning 59 hours of footage.
But yeah, there's 59 hours worth of film that we kind of had scanned back in 2018, 2019 for kind of research purposes on the movie. There was 15 hours of film which had no sound at all. Now, we had the music performances, so we knew we were going to be okay there. But it was not sunk up at all. So it took, in the system, 2 years at Warner Brothers to kind of sync up the picture to the music performances. And
So Jono went back under his desk for 2 years and sank up the sound. It's really good to see you come out.
thanks, Baz. Yeah, good to
But I think that the tricky bit with that was they had to actually lip read. What happened is it's probably not the right place to go into the whole technicality of it, but we had to claw back sound. So when you have negative, you make a print. And in those days, you'd split the picture and the sound. So we had to claw back sound from existing beaters and what other sorts
work
of...
track,
prints, a lot of stuff in the black market, blah, 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 find it, all that kind of stuff. And then we had great voice. I mean, one thing I will tell you in a world of AI and auto-tune, that man sings like that with or without an orchestra.
What I find particularly amusing was the story Baz Luhrmann told about trading material with collectors from the Elvis world. He called them shady people. Let's listen.
We also met occasionally in dark car parks and had meetings with shady people who would then hand something over and we'd hand something back.
there was definitely a bit of that.
I might open that up because one of them was kind of a bit scary.
What was in those envelopes?
Actually, I think I actually can't go into it because actually one of them, John, I was actually genuinely scared. I don't know, Baz. You know, I think if you don't see me, here's my phone number.
He visited me at my house.
he knows where you live, John.
Yeah.
So that was a process.
In one particular post on TikTok, Baz Luhrmann mentioned that he was re-recording some of Elvis' music. And for me, that's a real red flag. Because, well, what to expect? Modernized Elvis? Am I really going to be excited about that? But in an interview with the YouTube channel The Anchor, he explained why this was necessary.
Because we have, it's absolutely his voice 70% of the time. Sometimes we've had to use pre-recorded stuff just because I was doing different things.
Okay.
But 70%, when he's standing on stage singing How Great Thou Art, which is never before seen in 16mm, that is his voice on the stage. The guitar, other guitarist. The drum is Ronnie Tutt. Some of the orchestras and strings we had to re-record because they simply weren't recorded good enough. But I've heard him sing all those songs, just his voice. I have worked with so many iconic musicians in my life. I've met a lot of records. He is never out of tune. There's not even a wobble. Like, he has a way of bending notes, always landing, and he has a way of interpreting a song that makes it his own.
So the final question is, which songs and footage are we going to see in Epic? Online there's a lot of speculation and we could already get some titles confirmed, but these are all the tracks that are rumored to be in Epic, and it's quite a long list.
So hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know your daddy's bound to die. But all my trials, Lord, soon be over. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching. Oh, His truth is marching. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. You're. Thank you. You're beautiful. Thank you very much. You're a beautiful audience.
Okay, that's it for now. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. That would help my channel a lot. And well, I hope you're as excited as I am about Epic, about the news, but also about the possibility to see Elvis in a cinema again, to see all that great footage, or a lot of it, 50 years after it was filmed, on a great screen with great sound. Well, that sounds like a great deal, doesn't it? So let's hope for the best, and let's wait for more news to come. Until then, bye.
Elvis has left the building. I've told you absolutely straight up to this point, you know that he has left the building. He left the stage and went out the back with the policeman, and he is now gone from the building.